Welcome back, dweebs, to another episode of the Weekly Dweeb. With me, as always, is my good friend Kev. Kev, final show this week, and we've got a doozy. One that I know you are very excited about. We have our first trailer for Lanterns, the Green Lantern show on HBO Max. That is part of the DCU, whatever it is. Kev, I know you are pumped because the Lanterns are near and dear to your heart.
Yes, of course. For my experience, I don't want to speak for all of you, but to me, an underappreciated section of the DC comic universe, I guess. To me, I think the Lantern Corps and stuff like Sinestro, you got the Yellow Lanterns, the Red Lanterns, the Black Lanterns. You've got there is a lot of.
How can you use a Black Lantern to see? That doesn't make no sense, Kev.
Right. I mean, I will say a lot of it doesn't make sense if you think about it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But that's what happens when the stories are based around a cosmic ring that can turn into anything you can think. You can get pretty out there pretty quickly, but for my money, in the cinematic world, Green Lantern has been misutilized. Of course, we all know the debacle that was the Ryan Reynolds film. That one, I would hate to revisit, but if memory serves, it has a lot of the same issues that comic book movies of that time did before we kind of had all bought in, and the MCU became, just something that everybody was tuned into. Now we got superheroes everywhere, parodies of superheroes and stuff. But at the time, it was just kind of a bad plot that borrowed the wrong elements from the story. But another thing about the Green Lanterns that's so cool is that there are multiple characters that have had that ring, and you can tell really cool stories with all of them. There's John Stewart, Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner, which is our bowl cut friend, which I believe was the current iteration in the Superman movie.
Yes. The other two you said, Hal and the other one, I think, are both in this trailer. I think they're both in this show.
Dope. Okay. Well,
I do think I know that. Who you said? Hal Jordan is one, and who's the other one you said?
John Stewart.
I think they're both in this. I believe if I've seen correctly on the interwebs, as they're both in this movie or this show. It's about both of them. I believe.
And I think a show is a good call for something like the Lanterns, because it would suit itself more to a longer form of storytelling, because I don't want to get too heavy into the spoilers, but there's just a lot of different arcs you could touch on, especially if you are gonna not just have one focal point for the Green Lantern character. Like if you're gonna have the Lantern Corps involved and you can spend time with different characters, like there's just so much you can do. There will be heel turns, betrayals, all kinds of stuff that I think was probably another issue with the Green Lantern movie. Is you got to just pick a really good arc. It's hard to do an origin story for the Green Lantern and have it be a compelling movie. Although I would love to hear from you guys.
You just take too much time, right? Like it's the origin movie problem always, is it just takes a lot of time. And specifically what I know about the Green Lantern Corps is there's a lot to it, and it's not just like making an origin movie for Superman. You're making an origin movie for all of them, or one that introduces into all of them, right? Like it's not just an individual.
You've got to spend some time to set that up. And so when you get an origin story movie, it's like the first 30 minutes or something are just going to be a setup. And then you've got to tell even more backstory. Now there are some options. You could just drop people into the action and fill the backstory in later. But no, if you guys out there are Lantern fans and there is a particular comic run that you think would serve as a movie, fire it off in the chat, in the comments, and I'd be happy to check it out. Always interested in adding to my reading material, although we are still churning through Invincible right now, so it'll be a minute. But
you got that big book. You got that big book.
I got them. Got all three of them.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm very excited about this, despite my better judgment, dude. Like I know I really at this point should not allow myself to get excited about anything that has a cape or a costume or a magic power tied to it. But for now, at least until we watch this, my hype levels are pretty high, James. I mean, I'd kind of forgotten that this existed, so when it popped back up in our feed, I was like, "Oh yeah, there's a Lanterns thing coming out! Hell yeah, brother, let's go!"
Fucking got yourself excited again. Hell yeah. All right, let's get to this. This is preview review. The name of the game is we review the preview. We absolutely will not in any way, shape, or form use anything previously known about this. Sarcasm. I hope you didn't catch it. I hope you got sarcasm because this is our show and we do whatever the fuck we want. Here we go. This is the first trailer for Lanterns on HBO Max.
Previously known as Max, previously known as HBO Max, previously known as HBO.
With all due respect, we've been training for what, 2 months? And I haven't even worn the ring yet.
There's the ring. Hung up on the jewelry, Junior. You're just a fucking substitute teacher. You're not ready to get up in front of the class until the ring says you are. All right.
Oh, okay.
I could have died.
You want me to train you? I'm training you. Something is off here. I can feel it.
This is my town. You're a big shot. Noted. But stay the fuck out of my way.
Think she hates your guts.
It's the way she hates them.
This is a stupid plan.
Not that stupid.
That I don't doubt. The Green Lantern's oath is to protect people. We both know I do a better job of this than you.
This is my job. As long as I'm alive, that ain't changing. So take a deep breath, Junior.
You're old. You're tired. And your time is up.
I don't understand. Who are you exactly?
Hal Jordan, Green Lantern.
Hope that was a guy.
Have you ever talked with the other Lanterns?
I'm the only human. They're aliens. One of them's a fucking squirrel.
What'd you think, Kev?
Okay. Well, you know, I'm pretty excited. What was that? Kyle Chandler, is that the guy's name? Who was playing Hal Jordan?
Let's see here. I recognize him. I don't know his name. It's
Kyle Chandler.
Yes, Kyle Chandler is playing Hal Jordan. Aaron Pierre is playing John Stewart.
Probably most of you probably know him from Friday Night Lights. I remember him most from Bloodline, which was a show on Netflix that I thoroughly enjoyed, at least the first 2 seasons of, if memory serves. It also has Ben Mendelsohn in there. Incredible cast. Like, this was probably about 10 years ago when it came out, and I don't know if Netflix just had a little more money to put into their TV initiatives, or if they just got lucky with the casting and got some people that would go on to be pretty popular. But it's an incredibly well cast show. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan, I think, is a great casting. I like this dynamic. I'm interested to see what the story is here. It seems like from what we've gathered, Hal is almost maybe begrudgingly training John Stewart, and John has seen the error of Hal's ways. Hal is the one that, like, you know, spoiler alert, that's the guy who becomes Parallax and all that. Like, he definitely has it within him to become a villain. So don't be completely surprised if he winds up being a bad guy at some point with this. But, you know, it did enough. I feel like it kind of hit me on both sides, because it did enough to set it up where I'm like, all right, I'd be interested to see their dynamic. And it didn't show me too much of the plot, which I love. I hate that it showed Like I really hated the beginning of this trailer where he launches the car off the cliff and then we see Jon Stewart walk up a couple minutes later. That
took it away.
It just took it away. And I know that's going to be one of your big first set pieces. And again, I guess to poke a hole in my own argument, it's probably going to happen in the first 10 minutes or so. So one would assume that John's going to live. But if you're coming into this thing new and you don't have any Green Lantern knowledge and you're just interested in watching this show because you like James Gunn or whatever, maybe you just aren't familiar with that corner of the DC universe, you've just kind of ruined it. I go back to that old Terminator 2 trailer where they showed you that the Terminator was the good guy. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? You waste potentially good captivating moments in the trailer. So I would give it a negative point for that, maybe only a half point, because it does seem like it's a very first act heavy trailer, and that part I do enjoy. Like I think a lot of what we just saw probably happens in the first couple episodes. I don't think they gave us too much of the juice there, James. But as more of an outsider who doesn't already have an inclination to lean towards wanting to watch this, did this do it for you? Did this make you want to get invested in the Green Lantern stuff a little bit?
I'm intrigued by these two, mainly really less about the Green Lantern and stuff and more about their I don't know what's their relationship and how Hal seems very reluctant to be training him.
It's really got like a 90s buddy cop vibe, doesn't it? You've got like your jaded older guy and then your wide-eyed, maybe naive still to the game. It's got a little bit of, maybe it'll go full Training Day, and at the end Hal Jordan will be like, King Kong, it's got nothing on this ring.
A few other things. Nathan Fillion is in this movie as Guy Gardner, so you get another. He's also in it. I'm trying to see where this lines up. If this is after, is it before? I'm trying to see if it's before or after Superman.
Yeah, that
I don't know.
Brings another question to mind, which I hope, DC has had a well-earned reputation of being behind on all of this stuff. Like they get to the point where the MCU has done something and then they've burned out the entire audience towards that one thing. And then like a year or two later, DC finally rolls out their version of it where it's like, no, man, like you got to quit copying what they do. And B, learn when to course correct, learn when to pivot. So I say all that to say, I really hope this show doesn't become required viewing for a future Justice League movie that I assume they are building up to only however many years after Avengers. And again, same thing. Like I think a lot of fans are kind of burnt out even on the Marvel Avengers stuff. And here we got DC just building up to their next run at the Justice League. So I hope that Guy Gardner is an addition to the show without it falling into, oh, you got to watch the spinoff. Oh, we got to watch the next movie. I wish more of these self-contained stories that are within a larger universe. I wish they had the balls to just be that. All right. Especially after earlier this week talking about Zach Krieger's Resident Evil again, where it's like, hey, you can do this thing on your own, tell your own story within a pre-existing universe and just have it be its own thing. So on one hand, I love Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. I think he fits that role very well. For those of you who don't know, Guy is kind of an idiot. And he's can be a very funny character to follow along with. So I think his version of it is fun. I enjoy it, but I'm nervous that he's there in the sense that I hope it's not just to set this up for the next movie. Hopefully he's just there to serve this story. But I'm going to have my doubts about that until I see it, because nobody can avoid it at this point. Nobody can avoid we gotta set you up with the prequel or the spinoff. And so we're going to take up valuable time in this story that we're telling to basically advertise another story to you. So don't do it, James, please, or whoever's in charge of this one. Please don't do it.
Officially, Kev, what do you think? You said it immediately ruins what will be a scene, which, like you said, could very well be in the first 10 minutes, a kind of important scene, which we always take. We hate when shows do that, or movie trailers or anything. So that takes away some points. What's your official rating, buddy?
I mean, I'm hovering around like a 7.5 here.
Yeah, I think that's probably right.
It was good, not great. Like it didn't do enough. As somebody who was excited to watch this first trailer did not do enough to dissuade me from that. But as far as just a trailer goes, the business of making previews, I think there were things that I would have liked to have seen them do differently. But like you said, it is compelling, their relationship. And I think we talked about this in a previous episode this week, but sometimes it's more about good character development and good character interactions than it is a good plot. Or sometimes it can be a plot we've seen before, but those character relationships make it more than just a simple plot. So it did enough to keep me interested. I'm going to give it a 7 in hopes that the next one that we watch will have a little bit of a different layout.
I agree. It doesn't bother me too much that they don't show the lantern stuff. I'm okay with that, especially in the first trailer. I agree with you. Like, the thing holding it together is Hal and whatever the other guy's name relationship is.
Johnny.
Hal and John. That's what holds this trailer together and intrigues me the most. So we'll see. But I would say 7.5 is what I would give it. Another fun fact, Kev, it is set. The plot is they are investigating a murder in Rushville, Nebraska, my home state.
Hey, let's
go. It's way in the northwest side of the state, and there's not much. Currently, as of 2020, there's 820 people there, so that's kind of fun. So I don't know if they did any filming there, but I'm like, oh, that's a fun little stat.
Perfect place to hide your superpowers, I would think.
Yeah. You can hide out there.
I will say
much out there.
I definitely agree with you. I hadn't really thought about that, but I like the idea of them withholding like the lantern uniform and all that.
Yeah,
I think they learned their lesson.
So much, yeah.
It won't be a full CGI suit this time, but yeah, and it's moments like that I do think should be saved for the project itself. Like, don't waste that on a trailer. Do something else that gets me intrigued. But yeah, for this one, my personal enjoyment of Kyle Chandler's previous work on top of the dynamic, forgive me, I didn't look up the name of the guy playing Jon Stewart, but
Aaron Pierre.
Thank you. That's right. Yeah. I liked what I saw from Aaron as well. So those two are holding it together. Editors need to do a better job for round 2.
Agree. 100%. Agree. So 7.5. I would agree 100%. We're both in the same realm. So thank you guys for joining us this week. This has been the Weekly Dweeb. Please like, subscribe, and share as we work our way towards 200. And check out our previous content this week, the Wildwood PR, and then our discussion of the Resident Evil, mainly we watched the Zach Krieger video as a fun little discussion about some stuff he talks about. Kev, outside of here, where can they find you at?
Check us out over on Carnage Media. A lot of new content over there. Benchmark Pro Wrestling. We've got some football games now. We've been covering Lima Warriors of the Players Football Association. So go ahead and check that stuff out and make sure those notifications are on, because we are going to get back into the swing of things once all this travel wraps up. So if you want to make sure you don't miss an upload, best to leave those noties on so you get a nice little notification right in your feed, right there on your YouTube app, so that you never miss us two balds dweebing out.
Yep. Hit that bell. Help Kev sleep at night. Yeah, we'll be back next week. Kev will be out a little bit. We'll be doing some solo content. Kev gets to go on its work and vacation, so hopefully he gets some free time.
Best of both worlds, I think.
Right?
Maybe. I don't know.
Hopefully. Thank you guys for joining us this week. This has been the Weekly Dweeb. Until next time.